Arsenal bombshell. Arteta orders direct call to Man City's £55 million star. Bring him to the Emirates. Meanwhile, Odigard makes worrying statement ahead of decisive clash against PSG. Another big day for Arsenal, and if you carry this club in your heart like we do, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because every victory, every signing, every heartbreak, we live it all together. Let's jump into today's news. Arsenal and Manchester City have been serious rivals over the last few years. The Gunners pushed Pep Guardiola's side for the Premier League title in each of the last 2 seasons, and there was a lot of animosity when the two sides met in this campaign as well. Arsenal's dreams of winning the title started slipping over a month ago, and Manchester City are now just 3 points behind Mikel Arteta's side. The priorities for the two clubs lie in different competitions now, but both teams are expected to make some big moves in the summer transfer window. Jamie O'Hara has urged Arsenal to sign one Manchester City player. Jamie O'Hara tells Mikel Arteta to sign Kevin De Bruyne for Arsenal. Let's be honest, Kevin De Bruyne is one of the best we've ever seen in the Premier League, love him or hate him, and as Arsenal fans, we've had our share of frustration watching him tear teams apart. There's no denying the guy's a genius with the ball. The man's been a massive part of City's dominance ever since they signed him for £55 million nearly 10 years ago. That transfer was daylight robbery in hindsight, but here's the twist. It looks like his time at City is finally coming to an end. Both the club and De Bruyne have confirmed that he'll be walking away when his contract runs out in July. That means one of the best midfielders in the game will be a free agent this summer. Free. Let that sink in. Of course, the usual suspects are already sniffing around. MLS clubs, Saudi teams, all the ones throwing big money at big names. But here's where it gets interesting for us. Jamie O'Hara has come out and said exactly what a lot of us are secretly thinking. Arsenal should go for him. Straight up, he still believes De Bruyne has plenty left in the tank and that he's good enough to walk into any Premier League side. And yeah, that includes us. On Sky Sports, O'Hara didn't hold back. He basically said Arteta needs to pick up the phone the second the deal ends and say, "Kev, mate, come to Arsenal. Let's win the league together. I'm bringing in a top striker. You'll run the midfield with Odegaard, and we'll take this team to the next level." And he's not wrong. We've got Champions League football. We've got a young, hungry squad. De Bruyne brings experience, vision, and that winning mentality we need in big moments. Imagine him pulling strings in midfield in red and white. Give him what he wants. Wages, role, whatever. Just make it happen. That kind of player doesn't come around often, especially on a free. Now it's up to Arteta and the board. Do we go bold or watch him walk into another league? Martin Odegaard has just said something very worrying ahead of Arsenal's second leg versus PSG. Despite crafting a deft assist for Arsenal teammate Declan Rice against Bournemouth, Martin Odegaard was once again questioned by home fans. Odigard has by and large been excellent since Arsenal recruited their new captain from Real Madrid. However, 1 or 2 Gunners fans are becoming frustrated of late. Among the Arsenal fan base, there are murmurs of Odegaard's poor decision-making or ability to perform in the club's most important matches. Arsenal fans have criticized Odegaard quite profusely of late, even if Mikel Arteta doesn't seem concerned at all. Odegaard is Arteta's captain, who leads by example both on and off the pitch, the kind of player he's not going to drop during the club's most important games of the season. That being said, and with Odegaard poised to captain Arsenal against Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday, the Norwegian made some worrying comments after defeat to Bournemouth. Despite Odegaard's assist for Rice, the Gunners ultimately lost 2-1 after failing to double their lead on more than one occasion. And when speaking to Sky Sports after the game, Odegaard admitted that his side lost control immediately after conceding, a worrying statement ahead of facing a side of PSG's quality. Arsenal will have to be perfect in Paris to progress to their first Champions League final since 2006, but Odegaard admitted that they suffered a big mental lapse at home to Bournemouth in the Premier League. Speaking about the game, Odegaard said, "Massive disappointment. I think we started the game pretty well. We got the goal and felt like we controlled pretty much everything, but they score and we lose control of the game. We never find the rhythm after that. It is too chaotic and too sloppy from us. The second half is not acceptable. We have to move on as we have a massive game coming up. We have to get ready for that and analyze this game as well. This is what we want. We want to compete in every competition. We wanted to come here and do a good game and win, but that wasn't the case. It is a massive game on Wednesday, but we have to use today to be ready and beat PSG on Wednesday. Jurrien Timber is a doubt against PSG. As mentioned, some Arsenal fans might prefer Odegaard to be dropped in France, but that's an unthinkable prospect in reality. Arteta is never going to ditch his captain, but Arsenal do now have an issue at right back where Ben White would presumably replace Jurrien Timber were he not fit for the game. After missing the clash with Bournemouth owing to injury, Arteta was asked if he was confident of Timber featuring. Arteta replied, "No. Confident? At the moment, no. Because he wasn't able to play here and we played him for 4 days." Of course, Arteta would have White to come in as mentioned, but it's hardly an ideal scenario, a tricky game, and one that Arsenal can definitely win, but everything will need to go right on Wednesday night. Ex-PGMOL chief Keith Hackett backs VAR call in Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Arsenal's defeat to Bournemouth was a painful one, which was only exacerbated by a potential VAR call that went against them. Evanilson, who scored the winner for the Cherries, scored with what appeared to be his elbow, though it was inconclusive exactly which body part he scored with. As a result, the goal stood, with the Premier League releasing a statement on the Evanilson handball, claiming it wasn't clear enough to rule the goal out. While many different opinions flew around in regards to the decision, former PGMOL chief Keith Hackett has backed the VAR call. Taking to X, he said, "I am not convinced that this is clear enough to rule the goal out. Difficult decision for the match officials." It may be a frustrating moment for Arsenal, but one that was clearly tough to differentiate, with the VAR looking at the replay many times before sticking with the decision. It was a moment further explained by former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher. Keith Hackett isn't the only former official to back the VAR decision given against Arsenal, with ex-Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher giving a similar reasoning on Sky Sports Ref Watch. He said of the situation, "I would say it's the right decision because I was watching this live and they watched it and watched it and watched it. And I just come to the conclusion that if you have to watch it that many times and you don't think it's handball, give the on-field decision." It shows a relatively unanimous view of the call, one that Arsenal may still feel aggrieved by afterwards. The biggest challenge now will be to rebound, with the Champions League clash against PSG coming up. As for the Premier League, the race for a top 5 finish is heating up, and the Gunners will want to avoid being dragged into a qualification race. Joe Cole has heard Arsenal have a teenager coming through with so much potential now. Arsenal's academy has produced some incredible talent in recent years. Indeed, Bukayo Saka is now a world-class player. Miles Lewis-Skelly has been brilliant this season, while Ethan Nwaneri looks like a superstar in the making. Frighteningly, there's now another top talent potentially coming through at the Emirates. Max Dowman has been tipped for big things at Arsenal, and speaking on the Dressing Room podcast, Joe Cole has been discussing Max Dowman and what he's been hearing about the youngster. The pundit says he's been told that Dowman is a player with no ceiling, noting that he has incredible potential as a player. Joe Cole says Max Dowman has unlimited potential. So here's something exciting coming out of the academy. Max Dowman. If you haven't heard his name yet, don't worry, you will. And it's not just some random hype. We're talking serious buzz around this kid. Joe Cole recently brought him up and dropped a pretty big statement. Apparently Arteta himself gave Dowman a shout, mentioned him in the same breath as Odegaard, which is massive when you think about it. Joe was chatting with someone close to the club, and what he heard was wild. They said this lad has no ceiling, like the potential is off the charts. He's already doing bits with the U18 and getting time with the B team too. And Carlton Cole's also seen him in action and rates him highly. After watching Dowman play, he said straight up, the kid is a terrific talent, no hesitation. Sounds like we might have another gem on our hands, someone who could be breaking into the first team sooner than people think. And that wraps up today's biggest Arsenal news. If you enjoyed the update and want to stay on top of everything happening with the Gunners, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, Arsenal!